Henrik, thanks for joining us this afternoon. Welcome back to Dubai. Pretty special place for you where you're chasing 3 in a row here this week. Just sum up your thoughts of the week.
Yeah, it's one of my favourite weeks of the year, as you know, and yeah, I'm excited about the opportunity to make it 3 in a row. It's not going to be easy, I know that much. Got 59 other players who want to stop me dearly, and I'm just going to go out and try and make the same plan and hopefully play somewhat close to what I've done the previous 2 years, and we'll see if we can give it a shot. So, but great to be back in Dubai. Nice to see the sun after a couple of weeks in China, and as always, good weather, good food, good golf course, and a lot of familiar faces. So it's a nice week to end the 2015 season.
And you've got some friends and family here this week, is that right?
Yeah, they're coming in as we speak. I got my own crew is coming on Friday midday. They're flying over from America, and we're going to spend some time here after the tournament, and then head down to South Africa as well. So yeah, it's going to be good to see the kids. Haven't seen them for 3.5 weeks, almost a month. So looking forward to that. And my parents, they've been here the previous 2 years, so there was no way they weren't going to be here for this year's tournament. So and then of course a lot of friends that I made over the years down here that's going to come out and support and be here at the event. So I'm keeping busy.
Sounds good. We'll take some questions. Who wants to start us off?
Joy.
Joy?
As always.
Yeah.
Henrik, you've won here 2 years in a row. One of the things that really stood out in both the years is the number of greens that you hit in regulation. And I think you're already in that mode, knowing what you have done in the past week in Shanghai, where you hit, I think, 17 greens in regulation the first 3 days and 16 the 4th day.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Something went misfiring.
But has your game plan going to change anyway from what you have done in the last 2 years, knowing that you have definitely become better as a player over the last 2 years? Has it changed in any way, or are you planning to change anything that you have done on this golf course over the past 2 years?
Not really. I think it'd be kind of stupid to change too much in the plan that I've used the previous 2 years. So it's pretty much going to stay the same. I think today was the first time I was out on the golf course, and I think it played a bit softer. The greens were a little softer, but it's still early in the week, so I'm sure they're going to firm up a little bit. And it was a bit softer on the fairways as well. So potentially some of the holes might play a little bit longer, and depending on that, it might be 1 or 2 more drives maybe than in the past years. But the spots that I'm trying to hit off the tee is going to be the same. I think it's key to try and avoid the rough and the deep bunkers off the tee, and the more greens you hit, it's going to be easier to two-putt than to make up and downs from the rough. So I really feel like I'm getting a big advantage of hitting a lot of fairways and greens, and that's been key to my success here in the past 2 years.
Hi Henrik, can you just tell us what your sort of remaining schedule is for the rest of the year, and also I believe you're having a knee operation in December. If you could just talk a little bit about that, please.
Yeah, so I'm staying here for a couple of days after the event and heading down early to South Africa. A bit of safari with the family. So hopefully I don't get eaten by a lion, and then I'll play in Nedbank Challenge the week after that, and then straight back to Orlando for a little scope surgery on my right knee, meniscus cleanup. It's been kind of going in the wrong direction, but it's not been bad either. So I'm definitely still playable, but I want to do it as a bit of a precaution before next year, and rather clean it up now in the off season and get some rehab done than to have to take some breaks in the middle of the season if it goes bad. It's such an important year with the Olympics and Ryder Cup and 4 majors and everything else. So hopefully I can be 100% when the season starts again. And my plan is still to start up in Abu Dhabi. I did a similar procedure in 2011 and early December, and I was able to play in Abu Dhabi, even though it was kind of tight that time. And I hope to be back in action for when we start here again in January.
Henrik, was that the same knee in 2011?
No, that was the left one, that was the right one. So I'm trying to balance things up. But it was a similar procedure. Yeah, it was a torn meniscus in my left one, and now it's in the right one.
Henrik, just simply, what is it do you think that's enabled you to play so well here? Also, you've been a resident in the UAE in the past. Do you think it is familiarity of the course that it just helps?
Yeah, I think I always felt very much at home. I made Dubai my home for almost 10 years, so coming back here, I feel like I'm coming home in a way, and that certainly helps. Yeah, I like desert golf. I think we touched on it earlier there, that hitting a lot of fairways and greens, and that's kind of my strong part of my game, and that's really paying off on a golf course like this one, and especially on Bermuda. Similar when I won the TPC Sawgrass in 09, it's also played on Bermuda, and good ball striking is going to give you even a bigger edge compared to maybe a normal week. So yeah, and it's fairly long golf course, and hitting high iron shots that stops quickly, that's something I can do pretty well at times, so that works well around here too. So a combination of things, but yeah, being so familiar with Dubai certainly helps a little bit too.
Henrik, if I asked you to name the flagship event on the European Tour, which event would you go for?
I think it'd be a tight race between this one and Wentworth. Those are the two main ones outside the majors, and WGC's on the schedule, I would say. And not being biased if I say this one, but just a little bit.
And Keith Pelly's goal over the next 3 years is to make the European Tour a viable alternative to the PGA Tour. That's his stated goal. Do you see that as a possibility?
Yeah, I mean, there's always room for improvement, and I'm looking forward to see what we can make, what changes we can make to make the tour bigger and better and stronger. Of course, it's always going to be challenges, and we know it's a challenge for the players who play both in America and on the PGA Tour to travel all around the world and play enough tournaments everywhere and so on, and still keep the quality of your game and get enough practice and rest in. So there's challenges, but it's always interesting to see what the new boss has in mind, and what he can change in the years ahead.
Just to follow up on that, Henrik, what have you made of what you've seen of Keith or spoken to Keith so far, and obviously the changes announced, confirmed this morning about the number of events required to keep your membership? What's your view on that?
I think it was a welcomed kind of change, but it's still not a change. It's mainly a change if you not having a great year and you're still exempt in America and so on. I had it in 2011, or was it 2012? I was just going everywhere really to keep my numbers, and I played 2 in Europe, 1 in the US and 1 in China in a month, and then I had a few days before I knew I was up and down coming back to the States from that trip. So it just makes it a little bit easier if you're not in all the big events really, so it gives you a bit of a breather then, so I think it's a good thing. And for anyone who's top 50 and are playing all the big ones, it's not really making any difference, so it's still pretty much the same but different, we could call it. And I'm going to have a little sit down with Keith later on, and it's going to be interesting to hear his thoughts. Yeah.
Can I just get back to the thing about the knee? You said it was kind of, you were feeling it. Is it affecting your swing in any way?
Not really. It picked up this summer. I started getting a little fluid collection on the back of my knee, so it's a little joint fluid kind of sipping out of the knee joint, and yeah, it's not.
Are you subconsciously favouring it?
Yeah, I'm just hopping on my left all the time. No, I mean, when my left one was bothering me in 2011, that really showed up in the prep for Augusta. I was up there playing in practice round with Poulter and G-Mac, and I could barely finish the last 9 that we played. And I just kind of battled through that year and had the operation done. This one hasn't been as bad, but it's kind of, I feel like it's heading in the same direction. So it's been more clicking and a little swollen and so on, but not really bothering me playing golf. I was a little worried that when I was heading out for this 6-week trip, playing 5 tournaments, that it could be potential problems. But so far so good. So I'm just going to ride it out and get the procedure done. So I can't really, if I had a poor shot, I can't really blame the knee. No.
Henrik, this week there are 7 players in contention to win the race to Dubai, and for a lot of them beneath McIlroy and Willett, they need to win this tournament theoretically to win. So that must make your defence of this tournament trophy a lot harder. Do you relish the competition?
Yeah, I think it's going to be difficult to win a tournament like this, no matter how the standings are. But of course, it's going to be maybe even a little bit more focus on a few of those boys' mind when they're coming in. It's all or nothing. They got to win to have a chance for the overall title. So might make them try a little bit harder, but I guess it can backfire if you're trying too hard as well. So yeah, I just need to play really solid if I want to be up there again, and that's my hope, of course. And I think it's an exciting week for the golf fans since we got the two leaders only €1,000 apart roughly, and a lot of scenarios and a lot of things that can happen there, and they can certainly not feel safe because, as I say, the other 5 players behind them can jump them all with a win. So exciting week to watch, and for myself, who's much further down, I just have to try and focus on a good week to try and make it 3 in a row, and that's exciting enough as well in its own. So yeah, it's a good week ahead of us.
John.
Henrik, these knee things that you're having done are normally the sort of thing that gets done to older people. Why what's the cause?
Where are you going with this?
Well,
no, I think it's just wear and tear. I think I put a decent amount of force down through my legs in the way I'm swinging, and to be fair, I don't know. I might have done the tear in the meniscus. Might have happened coming off a water slide in the Bahamas or whatever. I'm not sure what. I don't have a specific time and place where I feel like, oof, I think something went there. So it's probably gradual wear and tear, and then some little thing, playing soccer in the backyard, which is a good thing to do. No one's been injured doing that, and you know, whatever, just a little tweak at the wrong time, I might just send it over the edge. So I think it's a wear and tear. I put a fair amount of stress on my knees in my golf swing. As you know yourself, you're not hitting it 300 yards by just tapping it. So I mean, it's a fairly common thing among golfers to have to do these things, and I don't know if I'm too young to have it done or not, but I'm turning 40 next year.
Okay, last one, Joy.
Henrik, one of the things that was, I mean, in Turkey and also in Shanghai, I saw a lot of Scandinavian players, including Swedish players, spending a lot of time in the gym. And one of them actually said that it's guys like Henrik Stenson who have just bought this change of going to the gym and spending time over there. Also 100 win for Sweden last week on Sunday. So can you just tell me, I mean, what is do you take a little bit of credit for what is happening with Swedish golf, or?
No, I think I can only take credit for the wins that I managed to accumulate. I think I got 9 of those, so it's a fair chunk, I guess, but I would like to make it to 10 at least. And it'd be a good week to do it. I haven't won this year, so it'd be nice for one to finish off here. But to look back on the physical side, I think that was more when Tiger was really coming on the scene. He changed the way players look on the physical side, and a lot more players started going to the gym. And then of course it becomes a trend, and it's a good trend. I feel like I'm in probably as good of a shape that I've ever been in my career over these last 3 years. I worked pretty hard with my physio and trainer Cornell to make sure that I'm fairly balanced and fairly strong, and that's hopefully going to prolong my career, so I don't need to have any operations or anything. But injury prevention and just recovering quicker and also being strong in a way that can help you with your golf swing, and your golf game is key too. So I'll probably, it's better to do it late than ever, and if I could have done a bit more of this probably 10-15 years ago, I probably could have been even a little bit better. So it's a good thing to do, and that's one of the best advice I could give to any young player, to really start early looking after your body, because this game is gonna take its toll. There's a lot of wear and tear. It's a very one-sided movement, and your body is gonna take hits, and when you're reaching kind of the regions around it, then it starts showing up a lot more than it does when you're 25. So it's a crucial part, and it was just great to see Christopher win last week. Of course, I was trying my hardest to make it 10 out of the 100 for myself, but when I couldn't win, I was very happy to see him win, and he's been there a few times, and he's a good guy and a very hard-working player, so very good to see him win.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Henrik, thank you and good luck this week.
Thank you. Thanks.